Alright, everybody, it's time to tap in. How we feeling, boys? Back for another episode. Who would have thought we'd be back?
I'm refreshed. I'm back from a vacation. Mike, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, you know?
Sipping some Bud Light over there?
Yeah.
Tabor, you drinking some?
St. Patty's Day, gotta have at least one.
Always. It's St. Patty's Day. The only way I know how to celebrate is uncoordinating different colors of green here.
Alright, before we get into the show, I want to talk about a podcast that I'm listening to that's making me starting to question the NBA. I don't know if you guys know the Whistleblower.
Yes, 100%.
I've been listening to it. It's about the Tim Donaghy scandal on how he rigged games for money in the gambling world, and I'm kind of skeptical of the NBA now. Every time I bet it.
Yeah, from all facets of it, you can look at the way that they handle the situation. If you've not listened, it's essentially this one referee was outed as the referee that fixed games. Tim Donaghy. When in all actuality, it was probably a group of many different people fixing many games.
And referees that are still in the league today.
Mm-hmm. What, Scott Foster?
Yeah, I hate Scott Foster.
Dude, he was reffing the game the other night. What? The Julius Randle travel. Scott Foster was the one who made the call and didn't call it a travel.
Pretty much, if you see Scott Foster reffing a game, just do not gamble on it.
So before we get into the show, the two words I hear a lot in that podcast is that the NBA is more so entertainment rather than it is competition. And then the one other quote that stood out to me was that Tim Donaghy said that he could shave the points of either way by 4 points.
I thought it was 6.
I thought it was
6 points.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So that just goes to show like the kind of leeway a ref has in the NBA, and it makes you question the league at times. But we're not talking about the league. We're talking about NBA Top Shot, everybody. Oh, shit, I already fucked it up. They're like, Ryan, you're going to be the lead today? It's NBA Top Shot. Jeez. What is this thing called?
NBA Top Shot.
We're Tap In is our podcast.
Yes.
Top Shot is the Top Shot, is what we're going to talk about. And then Top Shop is where you buy stuff, okay? But the one thing I want to talk about before we get into NBA Top Shop, the one Top Shop.
Are we ever going to get it right?
I'm cramping.
We're going to be...
I'm not even drinking that. This is literally lemonade. Okay, one more time. So before we get into NBA Top Shot,
Yes.
one of our friends showed us like how the world is going to evolve with these highlights. I don't know if you guys saw it, but our buddy sent us basically, you know where you go to like Target to buy a PlayStation game or an Xbox game, and they come out of the case, and they used to come in like literally a see-through case, and inside would be like the Game Boy game. It literally has like that see-through case, but inside is like a little mini iPad that has your highlight that you would buy.
Yeah, It looks like you're sitting at the Apple store.
That's insane. I haven't seen that yet.
So
You know eventually there's going to be like 3D holograms that come out of these things. Like that's where we're going. Like
I think
this is the type of world we're living in.
those things were interesting, but like, would you have to order that on your own? There's no way that NBA Top Shot could give you every one thing for a moment that you own, because you could turn around and sell it before you even got it.
yeah, I don't know how that would even work, because the whole point of NBA Top Shot, there
You
we
got
go.
it right.
is that you can buy and sell on the site.
Yeah.
But if you do this again, you're just back at square one selling cards again.
Yeah, I think this was like a personal like project that this guy had that he just... It might have been fake, honestly. I don't even know if it was real.
All right, so let's get into the show. We had a big week in NBA Top Shot. There we go. I'm on fire. Every time I get it right, you got to drink at home. That's a new rule. NBA Top Shot.
I really like that.
All right, so we did get into some packs this week. Let's. Tabor, did you get one or did Mike get one?
Mike got one. I absolutely had shit luck.
Well, what was
We
first
all
things
have
first?
one for the pre-order packs.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're
So
right.
we'll start there. We all got our pre-order packs. Mike, you open yours up. How do you feel? What did you get? What were your emotions? What were you thinking about going in before the reveal? What were you thinking?
Going into it, I was super confident I was going to get a really good card.
Why were you so super confident?
Because I haven't got a good card in a long time.
All right, okay.
So you had that do for one.
My account was in the
mindset.
red. I needed help. I was down bad. So I opened this thing, and I swear I pulled the worst pack in the United States.
Why was it the worst pack in the United States?
I didn't only get one JaVale McGee. I received 2 JaVale McGee cards who are worth no more than $5.
I heard they're paying you to buy it.
At that rate.
I did. Pretty much. It pissed me off.
Wait, so what was your other card? So you get 3 cards in this pre-order pack. How many were there available when we got the drop? Or you had 3 days, right, to get a pack?
Yeah, anybody could have got a pre-order pack. You just
Okay.
had to pre-order it.
So then you got 2 JaVale McGee's, and then you get a DeRozan,
A DeMar DeRozan, yes.
which wasn't too bad.
Which, because he's part of the set right now for Mike Conley.
Which we're going to get into later. Tabor, did you get your pre-order pack?
I did indeed. Now, before I even go into mine, Mike, did you sell your DeMar DeRozan?
I did sell my DeMar DeRozan.
When did you sell it, and for how much?
I sold it as soon as I got him for $50.
Why are you asking this, Tabor? There's a reason why you're asking.
There is a reason. I might have also gotten DeMar DeRozan, held it out for a few days, made 20 more bucks than Mike did. I'm not flexing or anything, but I'm $20 richer is all I'm going to say.
As long as my account's in the green, I don't care. Profits are profits.
I'd have to make some really, really bad moves to be in the green at this point.
Yeah, because you haven't bought a single moment.
I have not. But, alright, so with that being said, so I got Eric Pascal.
Eric Pascal.
Pascal.
Let's figure out these
There's
names.
a weird H. No, there's an H in the name.
Well,
and
I'm pretty sure it's Pascal.
It's Pascal?
Yeah.
I thought
He
it
plays
was
10 minutes a night, so
There's
it doesn't really
there was
matter.
a weird H in it too. Sheesh, I cannot remember the last one. I actually have it up right now. I can definitely look. Rye, you fill in right now.
I got Bam Adebayo, which it was my highest moment that I got. It was like $70-some. It's right now. But what Mike was talking about, Bam Adebayo was part of a collection to get a special Michael Conley card, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So inside the collection, do you remember off the top of your head what cards or what moments you need to get a special? Because that's like we were talking about earlier. It's like what causes people to buy moments. Like the market's struggling because nobody knows why they should buy a moment.
Yeah.
So now NBA, or they've done it since the jump. We talked about it on episode 1. NBA Top Shot has brought this thing where people buy moments. And then if they get a certain amount of the moments, they get a special card. So it gives them an incentive to buy cards. So this was a Michael Conley moment, right, Mike?
Yes, this one's a Michael Conley one, and I'm currently pulling up the things in the set.
Let's get a little prepared.
Can I jump back in?
Taylor remembers his cards now.
It was a good one too, which is bad. It makes it worse that I don't.
I remember now.
See?
Because you said
No.
I got a shitty pack.
I got a shitty pack.
He's like, I got a horrible
I
pack.
saw
All this.
I saw DeRozan and Eric Pascal, and I was like, not good. Little did I know I got the number 1 overall pick, Anthony Edwards, flying through the air against the Golden State Warriors.
Flying through the air. Is it a dunk?
Yeah, it is.
Well, he's got one of the most memorable dunks of the season so far.
Yeah.
I don't know who he dunked on, but he took their manhood doing it.
He's vicious. He really is. He's a great basketball player.
And he's playing pretty well this season. He's given LaMelo a run for his money for Rookie of the Year because Malik Beasley's been out. The Timberwolves have been out with Anthony Towns. And, he's putting on. So, that card value can go up. So, Mike, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. That's what I was.
Let's talk about the Conley card, the Conley package, because I'm mad at you for this.
Yes, because we had almost every single one.
So we all pulled our pre-order packs, and we had almost every single card to get the special Conley moment. But Mike just does his own thing, not a team player. He's a me kind of guy. I before me. I don't even know. He's not a part of the team. So what's he do? He sells the DeRozan and makes zero money. But let's tell you, what do we need for the pack? What did we need?
Not sure that it made zero money, but the 5 cards that you need to complete this pack are Victor Oladipo, Bam Adebayo, Karl Anthony Towns, DeMar DeRozan, and Pascal Siakam.
And we all together could have got the Michael Conley, but Mike wanted to be selfish and sell his card. Moment.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a selfish moment. But as soon as I tried to delist and I couldn't delist, I forget why, maybe the marketplace was down or something, but I wanted to, and then I got a notification your card has sold.
Wait, I want to get into something real quick before we switch gears here. So, notice how I said we were going to come together to get the Conley moment? Wouldn't that be collusion on the site? Weren't they trying to limit that on the site?
Probably. That's why gifting was taken away for a long time because people were.
So do you think we wouldn't even be able to do that?
Yeah, you probably would get your account banned.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That would not be good.
no, definitely not.
All right, so
Well, that's why we're a learning podcast. We are learning just as much as you guys are.
now I want to switch gears to we basically just touched on is that the site was down for a lot of maintenance. So there was a lot of frustration in Discord, Twitter, Tap-In fans around the world. What was the issue with the site this week? It was down for maintenance for several days. What were the negatives about it? What were the positives, if any, about it? And just kind of talk us through it, Tabor.
Well, I think one of the positives right off the bat is that
We couldn't lose money. That's a good positive.
You look at the marketplace, and the value of the moments is still there. I mean, people are still buying moments. Like, there's no delay in listing things. Like, if you want your things sold, you can probably get them sold.
That's a good point, because I know we're going to relate a lot on these episodes about the stock market. So, like, the whole Robinhood thing with Vlad, he froze the market. And while he froze the market, GameStop plummeted. And you couldn't sell out of it, and you couldn't sell out of AMC, and you couldn't sell out of Nokia, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So, when this... Sorry, I have an iPhone now. I don't use Nokia. Or go to GameStop or AMC. They're all shut down. Okay, that's besides the point. But the point is that they're freezing the marketplace, but the value is still there, which is a good thing, Mike, right?
Well, the value's there for now, but because when people are, you can't buy, you can still list your card. So people are listing their card, and when the marketplace comes back, people are buying it, and you can't delist. So the prices are technically dropping from this because you can list it, but you can't buy. So people are listing lower and lower, just undercutting, because nobody's buying.
Yeah, so that's the problem with me, like, personally, is, like, I don't know when to buy, when to sell, what to list it at. It's like, we're so new at this, it's like, we need some type of direct. I'm asking for help. I'm in the right, and I need some help. I mean, we're supposed to help them and be the common man, but I need help.
Well, that's
Someone help me, Tabor.
I think one of the big things in this is, like, I think it's hard to both say that you should wait for this and not, but, like, to look at even DeMar DeRozan, which we were talking about earlier in this episode, I made $20 just by waiting, and he happened to be in a moment. Like, is that a key to making money? Just stumble upon moments and wait until they get into a collection and then sell them then? Or, like...
Honestly, like, watching the market, it seems like that's the only way to make true money, is to wait to see for a challenge. And if you're lucky enough to have a card that's part of the challenge, that's what we're doing with your Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah.
We're waiting for an opportunity, because, Mike, how do you know there's going to be a... Do they, like, have a calendar ahead of what's going to be ahead for these challenges?
Yeah, it said that there were all the MJLE Gold 2s were going to be in a challenge.
Who said it, Mike?
NBA Top Shot.
Whoa! He's releasing names on the
NBA Top Shot themselves.
You sure it wasn't NBA Top Shop? With the page?
I should probably double check.
It better not.
It might be a scam. You might have to scam it. But see, that's a good point. We're waiting for Tabor to get that Ben Simmons highlight, part of a challenge where we'll make some actual real ass money.
I think that's the key, and, like, you could have moments like we've discussed in the past, like, okay, a player could go to the Hall of Fame. We don't know. We have no idea.
Well, we know David Nwaba's not going to the Hall of Fame, so we can.
We're already going there.
It's a little. Is he going to get brought up every episode?
Well, that's what happens when you turn on the team and sell your DeRozan when we need him for a special Conley moment. I'm over here with my holding on to Bam Adebayo for the team because I'm a team guy.
You know what? I'm going to buy DeRozan back just for
I might pronounce Top Shot wrong, but at least I'm a team player and hold on to Bam Adebayo.
That's a fair point.
All right, we're switching up to our next block.
One more thing. I have one more thing.
Oh.
It's kind of like you can sort of almost tell what cards are going to be in a challenge because when they released the Seeing Stars, they didn't release a KD or a LeBron. So you knew, and they were the captains of their team, so you knew pretty much, and they just announced it yesterday, that Team LeBron was going to be in one set for a LeBron moment, and Team KD was going to be another set for another moment. Now, Team LeBron, you need Anthony Davis as well, and you don't need Mike Conley. But since they announced it, those cards have doubled. I was planning on going for the LeBron thing when it was $2,000. Now, since they announced it, it costs $4,000 to get all the cards in that challenge now.
That's a good point, but then is that just going to be a rare case because we just got lucky because we know the All-Star roster? The other packs aren't going to be so noticeable, right? I mean,
probably not, but like you can see when they do a promo, like the Cool Cats and everything. You needed to. I'm pretty sure almost every challenge they've released, there was a grand prize for collecting everything in that thing. Like you have the DeMarcus Cousins.
Don't get why did you bring that up because you got Nwaba brought up?
Exactly why I brought it up.
That's eye for eye.
He brings up the Cousins travel. That's what he brings up. What's your question? Yes, I bought it because it was a Cool Cats and it would look cool.
Well,
and it looked like it had some value.
The Cool
and it's
Cats,
down $50. I bought it for $140. And he travels.
The last Cool Cats set, you could lock them all in for, I'm pretty sure, a Karl Anthony Towns or something like that. Like so, like most sets, you can lock in all of them for a greater beat.
Well, let's buy some Cool Cats.
Well, it's over.
Oh, it's over. What the hell?
You bought it after it ended.
Oh.
Why do you think the prices dropped so low?
Because he traveled. That's why. All right, so that's a good segue into what I really want to talk about next is the value of S1s and S2s. So I just brought up how I have no idea. Like I see a Cool Cat cool cat must be cool. That must be valuable. It's got a little black thing. It looks appealing to me. Looks way better than a common highlight.
Yeah.
So I bought it. But like, what is the value going to be of S2? Which Tabor, explain what an S2 and S1 is, if you know.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get more and more familiar. Season 1 was the bubble. It was the NBA's season in Disney.
So that's S1.
Yes, that's S1. Or there are some S1s with fans. So maybe it was very, very at the end, right before COVID hit. But basically, they are the very first season of these highlights that were printed, and now we're in the second season. So this entire NBA season, I presume, will be season 2. And then next season will obviously be season 3.
So is every card, Mike, an S1 or an S2?
Yes.
But then why are the S2s so cheap?
Well, because there's so much more of them and they're newer. Like Series 1 is always going to be the first and foremost first generation cards, and they're always going to be the most, and there's not as many of them.
So should people be buying S1s?
I think S1s.
No matter who it is, even if it's David Nwaba.
Well, he's not an S1, but yeah, I would say that most.
Is he a rookie?
Most S1. No.
Oh, he
He's
didn't play an S1.
He's coming off an Achilles.
He was in the G League in S1.
He's gonna keep.
You're getting a David
poking his bear.
Nwaba G League S1 highlight.
It's not true.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't talk about David Nwaba anymore.
Thanks.
So what was I gonna say about S1 and S2?
Once again, I just think like we're saying, like I think there's a lot of value in people seeing a season 1 card and thinking that's the first season, that's the first set, I'm gonna have that card.
Now here's the $1 million question, Mike. So are S2s going to be way valuable next year when there's S3s, or do you think the S1 value will still be higher?
I think the S1 value is still going to be higher, but certain S2s, like the ones that are capped at 15,000 moments, they should be worth money someday, because the ones that they're releasing now are 35,000 plus moments, so they can keep adding on and on and on to the end of them, and they don't become as rare. But the S2s that first came out were capped at 15,000.
So everyone who has or doesn't have a moment or has a 15,000 capped moment should hold on to it until the S2s gain value.
Yes, I think the S2s are a longer term investment.
Should people buy S2s now, even if they're cheap? Like a $25 DeRozan, should someone buy that S2? Or let's say Alex Caruso steal. Should someone buy that for S2 for $15? Is that even worth it?
It's if you like the player, it's obviously going to be worth it to collect players you like. But I think most of the time you're going to want to look into S1 because they're always going to be, it's their first moment they've gotten probably. That's another thing. It could be S2, but it could also be their first moment. They could be a rookie in S2. That's the things you got to look for. Future All-Stars, rookies, first moments. You dunked on James Harden, things like that.
All right, so Tabor, last part about this segment is, do you have the patience for it? Like, not only do you have to be patient with the S2s and the S1s, but you also have to believe in this system, right? Like, you got to believe this shit's going to last. This is going to be an everlasting market where if you hold on to S2, you better hope that this exceeds to S3, S4, S5.
Yeah, well, actually, I was talking to another group of friends today, and they actually were talking about NFTs, which were just NFTs for artwork. And it was NFTs from a popular show writer. Like, he does artwork on the side and sells them as NFTs. Like, 1 of 44, this, that, the other. Like, I think even seeing it from another perspective of that people, it's not even that they're into sports. They're not into Top Shot or whatever necessarily. They see this as the entity that it is, and that it is in a collectible thing online, and that's going to progress.
Wait, what is FP?
NFT.
NFT.
That's what Chris was bringing up last week. That non-fungible tokens. It's like the serial number and the embedded actual thing you're buying that says that you have it.
Does it derive from like Bitcoin and?
Yes.
The blockchain.
Yes.
You can also do NFTs
yes
of
to
like
everything.
Kittens, right?
Yeah,
Crypto
crypto kitties and shit like that.
Did you see how much the digital art NFT just sold for the other day?
How much?
It was like $6 million or something.
$69 million.
Whoa, kids show. You know, I gotta take it. But
Nice.
So what does one do with that? Just, hey, I got the $69 million kitty.
Well, like I said, like I think that hearing it from another perspective was nice, and not even like, it wasn't that it was like comforting, but hearing it from another perspective, but just hearing that other people are with the idea of that digital art and digital things like this are just as collectible as having the trading card, if you will.
So I'm with you. I feel like it's on the come up. So we'll get into S2s. Hold on to them. We'll make some money in the long run. Now, the last block we're going to talk about is a personal experience for Tap In Podcast. Now, Tabor, you were on vacation in Florida.
It was a great time.
Getting a little smacked up.
Oh, got way too drunk one night.
But we had a cigar night. Chris isn't with us. Well, tonight. He didn't die. He's also going to Florida. Someone must be in Florida. There might be some girl. I don't know what's in Florida, but these two guys are going, and it's a hot place to be at.
There's something in the water down there.
But Chris, myself, and Mike were having a cigar, and we were working on the Tap In Podcast. And we have a little story about how some early success, I would like to call it, that we got right out of the gates that we didn't even imagine we would get, Mike.
Yeah, we were just watching basketball games, and every night I'm on Twitter looking at NBA Top Shot, the Twitter account, and it's retweeting everybody that wants people to make a highlight out of this, highlight out of that. So I was like, on Tap-In's Twitter, we should try to pick a highlight and get it retweeted so multiple thousands of people can see it at once.
So smart, Mike.
I agree. It was very smart of me. Great ideas always coming out of this brain.
So wait, Mike goes to work. He gets on the Twitter account, which is TapIn_pod. Go follow us on Twitter. We're also on all streaming platforms.
Yes.
Tap In Podcast, search it. We're on it. I think we might even be on Club Penguin. They might have a podcast on there. But Mike goes, you know what? We got to do something with Twitter. We got to post some content. If you follow us, all love, appreciate the support. So Mike goes to, we were watching the Sixers game. We're Sixers fans. As you can see, the little Ben Simmons jersey in the back. Defensive Player of the Year. And Mike goes and quotes a Shake Milton highlight, and he adds Top Shot. And then what happened? Like, well, what did you tell Chris first? Let's set up the story here.
What do I tell Chris? Tell me. Enlighten me.
What are we telling Chris?
No, we're not telling Chris right now.
You said to tell Chris.
No, alright, so we're sitting there, and Mike tells Chris, he goes, hey, I'm going to quote this. I mean, eventually, once we get good at this and once we get some followers, Top Shot will eventually retweet us, and then a lot of people will follow us, and it'll just be really cool. So let's just get into a custom and like a tradition, a routine of just posting these highlights. So maybe one day, Top Shot will retweet us and we'll get some exposure. Mike sends tweet, puts his phone down. I think Danny Green hits a 3-pointer. Shocker. And then all he says is, holy shit, Top Shot just retweeted us.
First try.
I instantly got chills, and I don't even, it's just a big deal for us. We're just starting. Our quality on our mics were shitty last time, but it's like a good, feel-good moment where it's like, okay, we can actually do stuff and entertain the people in this.
I think that's a good element. It's like one of those things where like you gotta look for like the little signs in life that keep you moving along, and like to just have that happen on your first your first tweet or first quote, like, or whatever. It's just like a good sign. That's a good sign of things to come.
Especially because like we've had issue after issue after issue.
Okay, we haven't had okay. All right.
So it's like
don't downplay it.
To get a beam of light that just like shines through and gets us 75,000 Twitter impressions when we have 5 followers.
Oh yeah,
it's a great.
It was definitely a chill moment for sure. Hopefully more moments to come soon. Tabor's been tweeting on the account.
Oh yeah.
Do you have some ideas or what you've been doing so far on Twitter, just to give the people, the listeners at home, some of what we've been doing recently on Twitter?
Well, I've just been trying to, like Mike said, like tweet clips of NBA big moments. Like we want to see some B-ball Paul NBA Top Shot highlights. We need some down in the mud shit. Like
League MVP.
That's what I'm saying. And now another thing is like eventually, now if you're listening even to this far, thank you. And second, eventually we want to like put little shit in the podcast where if you're listening and you're still here, we want to like do a giveaway or some shit. Like you know the code word, and then you DM us or some shit. And then
you win a prize.
Exactly, it's simple.
You win this solo cup.
And
then I drank during an episode.
You might win David Nwaba.
You might win him. You might.
Well, if you tell them that, they're not going to participate. They're not going to do it. You can't say that. We might have to cut that out.
This is our first moment.
You won't get David Nwaba. And you won't get JaVale McGee. You won't get Mike's account, okay? You will not get Mike's account. That's for sure. It was a good episode. Another good episode. We'll be back. We're releasing episodes Friday. That's what we're shooting for. So every Friday, you'll have something to look forward to. Us 3. Chris is on a vacation, like I said. Hopefully, we'll be back in a couple weeks. Who knows what that kid is doing? Any last words, guys, before we get out of here and I give everybody a plug?
Yeah, I have a little fact check real quick. I said that Coolcast number 2 would get you Karl Anthony Towns. I lied. It would be Anthony Davis that it was.
Wow, there you go.
Thank you for confirming that. Taylor, anything else?
Please just let us know if you're enjoying our content, especially if you're on YouTube.
Oh, well, like and subscribe would be pretty cool.
Like and subscribe.
Beautiful.
Tell your friends. Post on Instagram. Anything could help us. I appreciate it.
So you can follow us on Twitter at tapin_pod. You can follow us on any streaming platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. I don't know any other podcasts, but we're on a Tap In podcast. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next Friday, and let's make some money together.
That's it.
We're out. Time to tap out.